What's up,
Good
Gabe? How
work.
you doing, man?
Hey, man.
How's your day going?
How's everything? Pretty good, making it through. How about yourself?
Nice. Doing pretty good. Yeah, tired though. Like I don't know why I'm so tired, man. Like these past couple days, man. Like it's been tired, dude. Like
Born,
I don't
man. You're
know.
getting stuck inside.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to go back to maybe just like taking iron pills, dude. But just like
Yeah.
my body's just exhausted, dude. But the weird thing
I,
is like during the evening though, like starting from 8 o'clock, my body's not tired, and I
huh?
later start getting tired like mentally at around like 12 and go to sleep. Yeah,
Weird.
it's strange.
Have you gone outside recently or no?
Yeah, I go outside
Okay.
like quite often, like in my
Okay.
backyard, and go for like a 30-minute walk every like Monday
All
through
right.
Saturday.
Yeah. That's weird then. It's probably
Yeah,
slump then.
that's why I'm
Hopefully.
like, should I go back to take? Because I haven't been taking iron pills, and when I did, it's been helping me. But recently, I
Good.
haven't been doing it. So yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
maybe
It
I'll try
takes.
that out.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah, how have you been, man?
Pretty good. Yeah, training's been pretty solid. Everything's kind of consistent. We're trying to find a way to kind of bridge the however many months we have, dealing with this COVID-19, along with trying to train for the next season, which we don't know is coming up. So
Right,
it's confusing, man. It's really confusing.
for sure. How's like quarantine life at home?
It's good, it's just I'm dealing with doing homework, hanging with my
Mhm.
dog Great Dane right there at
Oh,
home,
nice.
and just staying busy training and trying to get myself into some hobbies that'll keep me busy while I do recovery and stuff like that after running. So, getting homework done. The main thing is just getting on a schedule because without a schedule, I think I'd be running around this house going crazy.
Got it.
So, keeping me at bay, I'd say.
What kind of dog do you have?
So I have two Great Danes. That's one of them.
Uh-huh.
He's the boy. He weighs around 190 pounds, and
Dang.
well, he's older, so he just gains weight. His metabolism is just
Wow.
gone. So he's just hanging out. He sleeps all day. So
Mm,
yeah,
got it. Yeah, so have you like picked up any like new hobbies or like new things that you want to try out?
yeah. I think I like found hobbies again. I love collecting coins and stuff like that from the
Nice.
1800s, and just because it's like silver bullion, it's all important stuff that
Mm,
I love history. So I'm very interested in learning the story of the coins
mm,
along with like what it will be in the future with value and everything like that, along with like trading cards. Because
mm,
we're bored, I'm going through my stuff, I'm cleaning out the garage, and we're finding trading cards, and we're like, wow, that was worth $10, 4 years ago. Now it's worth however many. We're finding a lot of really cool things, along with just enjoying it. My brother and I are having a good time with that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I used to be like huge on collecting, like especially like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was huge on that in elementary school,
Yeah,
dude.
it's just that there's something to collect. It's just a lot of fun. Keeps you
Mm,
busy, keeps your mind
right.
off of the fact you're stuck at home.
And
So
also
it's a
like
good time.
right. And then yeah, in terms of the coins wise, like my dad he gave me like a little like kind of like a little like kind of like booklet or like kind of like it's like each coin for like each state so that he gave me, which is
Wow.
pretty cool.
Okay, the cord set. Yeah, it started like 2000, and then it went through to 2009, I think. So yeah,
Okay,
those are really cool. Those are really
nice.
neat. Yeah.
So have you been like watching any like TV shows or movies?
No, actually, I haven't. I don't know. Surprisingly, I haven't had time to. I've been,
Okay.
with doing schoolwork from like, say, I wake up at 6:30. I get my
Oh
workout in,
dang,
and
that's
then
early.
after, yeah, around 8:30, school starts till like, and it's a block schedule of 3 periods. And the third period, if I have all 3 periods, because it's from all the 6 periods we have,
Hmm.
it would go to 12. And then after 12, I get, some homework done, and then after that, I'd get my other training in,
Mhm.
and just keep busy hanging out with my family and stuff like that. So,
Got it. So for you've been doing a lot of Zoom, right? Like Zoom calls?
yeah, so we've been doing it's similar. Google Meet. We've been
Okay,
doing
Google
Google
Meet.
Meet 'cause we
Got it.
we had the classroom for our
Yeah.
district. Yeah.
So does your teacher like actually do like more than an hour?
So we've gone to an hour and 10, hour and
Oh dang.
15 with our AP government because we were getting ready for the test and
Mm,
stuff. So that's the case for AP classes. So we're staying a little longer for those couple of classes.
mhm.
Other than that, it's just kind of hey, just checking in, making
Right.
sure you're still around, and get this work done, and that's it. It's just the tedious homework after is what keeps me busy, and it's not bad. I
Got
don't
it.
mind it.
Mhm. Yeah, same like well, like for my like I think my longest class like is for me was ceramics and like that's like around like 50 minutes, but like all my other classes just like literally like 15 to 30 minutes.
It's so
So,
weird. It's so weird. It's a different feeling for sure.
mhm.
Do you miss school?
Nah, well, nah, I hate school so much, dude.
I got it.
Like I just don't
Yeah.
like the school environment. I just don't like sitting in a seat like for hours and hours. It just makes my body tired and my mind tired. And in terms of like school wise, like I just hate school. I just like using like I love this time like right now, just using all this free time to like pursue my passion and able to do like what I enjoy doing. And yeah, cause then, like yeah, I've been just like like playing the drums, watching a lot of movies, super passionate about movies, TV shows. Started
Cool.
writing a script. My first like I'm making a short film. So yeah, so
Oh,
about like
nice. That
yeah,
sounds like fun. The
and
cool
just
thing about this, obviously, there's nothing cool about having to be quarantined. It's
right,
for the safety of everybody. But the good thing and the benefit for us in school and staying at home is we could focus on things that we kind of left aside and stuff.
right,
So like, I find it like really cool. Like, oh, I got to go back to this, and I just am able to put my full effort into it.
hmm
Like before, I'd say, okay, I'm gonna do something, but then 20 minutes later, I have an extra packet at home to do, and so now it's kind of like way, way, way better. It's just transitional. It's good.
hmm Yeah, the only thing I miss is just track and just like
Yeah,
talking to my friends
that's
and teammates. So yeah,
yeah, that's just it feels like it's been so long ago because we haven't been able to have like even track practice
mm,
interaction, being able to be around the parks and stuff.
yeah.
So it's just running around Temecula.
Yeah, it sucks too because like for us, like all of our like small meets are all done in the beginning. Now it's like time for like big races like APU, like
Yeah,
all the
we're
big
missing
ones.
all of them.
But like I was like, damn, like right when we get into like, and also like Redondo, because like the meet that was coming up that week when it was lockdown was the
Redondo.
first race was Redondo. I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go, Redondo APU, let's get the season started. But like right when it shut down before like all the big races, man, they
Wasn't
hit
it the
hard.
day before?
What's
It was
up?
the day before, right?
So the day before?
Because
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
right.
was doing prep. Yeah, I was doing prep work. I
Uh,
was stretching and using compression and stuff.
right.
And then we got the notification. It was expected, but you always
Mhm.
got to prepare. And it was just a bummer because after that, like the rest are gone,
Right.
right?
It sucks, and especially like Arcadia. Then after that, just all these big
Exactly.
races. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, how did that hit you? Like, dude, like for me, it's just like it hurt, man. Especially like, having this as seniors and never getting this opportunity ever again. But yeah, especially like like with all the preparation that you went through and just the elite level you are. Like, how did that hit you personally and
I mean,
emotionally?
like after coming back, cross was to me. I felt like as a team we did amazing. All
Mhm.
respect to the guys that give it all with me on the line with our seven. Combined. I think we gave it our all, and I felt like I could have done much more. Obviously, ramping up from the injury that I had,
Mhm.
a year progression, getting into 2 weeks of training right before cross, and then actually just for being able to maintain the rest of the season and get the PRs. I feel glad that I was able to do that, but I felt kind of restless because I'm always aiming for the best. So
Right.
when it came into this track season, I was going back to what my juniors' goals would have been, which was going sub 9 handsomely, like really sub 9, because I felt like I had the endurance to get towards it sophomore year. And I was iron deficient. I got 916 at league, which was kind of late, but I was going into my efficiency in iron. So I was becoming healthier and feeling better. But then once I kind of ran to the end of the season, it was already too late. So
Mhm.
junior year obviously got snubbed, but this year was the goal of going sub 9, and I was able to get the 3K time and record at the winter state, and I was feeling great.
Mhm.
Training was awesome. I was PRing in my speed workouts, and this happened. So it hit me like a ton of bricks. But honestly, it's the next chapter now. As long as everybody else is settled, like I feel worse for not myself, but for people who seniors haven't signed or needed this year for recognition,
Right.
or juniors who are trying to get this season to kind of blow up and get that recruiting opportunity.
Right.
And
Right.
it's just, I feel terrible for them, because I know that even though I had the same experience in a different way, being out all year for junior year, I just know how that went, and I know
Mhm.
how big of a struggle it was to build up again. So I wish them the best, and I know the people that are dedicated will be able to push through that. But this is pretty unprecedented, so you don't expect this, and I think our legs won't either. Hopefully, we'll have enough in the tank for them to be able to get recognized at a good level for senior year, because
Mhm.
it happens.
Right. So when you like first like found out like after Redondo and like all the other big races like being shut down and having a last season to accomplish all your goals like how did you overcome like that pain and that hardship?
Right. Yeah. So for the quarantine sake, after Redondo. we kind of got the idea that most of it was going to be gone,
Uh-huh.
because before that already, Souls keeps updated, because obviously he's in the district, he's also a teacher, on top of all the accomplishments he's getting and running, and he knows kind of like, okay, this is not sounding good from the admin. I know this and that. I'm just kind of keeping precautions here. We got to be safe at practice, keep 6 feet. And this is before everything that happened. But he'd tell us,
Okay.
hey, look, he said, you guys are strong. He said, and you guys have the mental fortitude to push through. You guys have proved that many times on the course. He said, but you got to do it now because we're likely not going to be able to have a season. And after Redondo, we kind of got that idea. But then all of a sudden, you have APU, Arcadia, and it seemed like it was falling down in dominoes because it would always happen either 4 days before or less than a week, and it just was kind of heartbreaking. But you expected it to happen after the first one,
Right.
So for me, it was tough, but I felt more bad for, obviously, like I said, the juniors and the seniors who are trying to get the season to really get up there.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, especially like those seniors that like are still like didn't get the opportunity to improve it junior year, but still like trying to do good in track so they can get that recruitment and also like scholarship money as well, and just like that been taken away.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a goal to take time as well, with consideration to reaching some certain milestones that are recognized at the university I'll be going to, Cal Berkeley.
Right.
Go Bears! But it happened. And for me, it's like, okay, as long as I'm able to provide for the team, and when I get there, I have more ambition than ever, I'm happy. So I'm willing to go forward and have everybody else come with me, and I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, so like during this time of like uncertainty in varsity, like there's always like growth and like transformation. So like during this time, like what have you like grown and like learned during this time of like varsity and like all the changes and like worries and stuff like that?
Right. Yeah. For me, I'm a very ambitious, not only runner but person. I'm always trying to get high, straight A's and my classes, even APs. I'm trying to get everything I can to do the best I could be the best I could be. But for me, it's been able to kind of help me realize my patience. Take your time. Because obviously I realized don't rush into everything after fracturing my foot and being out for a full season plus 2 seasons with Achilles as well. But it's helped me realize a little more that this sport is more than just a sport. It's been able to keep me through the consistencies of school and the inconsistencies of them. It's been able to kind of be like the wave I ride to keep me confident and keep me through it. And I've been able to use this as a certain way to test my patience, and it's helped me very much because I'm getting my training in, and if it's not a bad day, I get it out of my head instead of holding it in the back of my mind. And then the next day I'll PR in a practice, and that'll satisfy me. So it's just kind of test my patience, and I think everybody around me too, because you're used to going nonstop. Even track season, like yourself, you got to bring the camera to every single meet.
Right.
Now you got to bring the camera to your room to work. Right. So it's kind of different. It's humbling. Because you expect to be on a track PR, you expect to be at every meet to cover, and you're just not able to. So for me, it's just test of patience. Like, hey, look, I might have 3-4 months till my next race, if not next year, if this continues to go. For me, it's being able to translate into different ways and to help in different ways as well. So I've taken initiative to pass my time, getting everybody together and writing letters to elderly at the nursing homes where my parents were. And we've been trying to ride a wave like that just to make our time a little better.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, especially like during that and so like for your life, like it just being at such an elite level and just like accomplishing so much and like breaking records as well, and later on, like when you got injured, like your whole role is kind of like involved in life, is involved in running, and after you got injured and that being taken away from you from running for a long time and really battling and struggling with just not being able to run and that injury, right. How do you like redefine your purpose and your identity?
Exactly. For me, even coming in freshman year, my purpose was to be the best I could be, and that was hopeful to be translated into the best in Cali, the best in the U.S. You know how ambitious you are when you start, and it was translating to that. I was feeling great. I was hitting 3-mile records, and I was doing amazing. But as you ramp up, you realize, you got to be consistent with training as well as you got to be consistent with your own mind. If you're trying to rush through things, you're going to create your own problems, you know? And in the case of the injury, it wasn't that I was rushing through it. It's just that, you know, I was trying to push so hard for my goals. I think my body was trying to catch up to me. Yeah. And so, yeah, right. So it kind of, right when I hit that halt 4 days before state, I was told I have a fracture after training on it for 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. After that, you know, because it was heartbreaking because I had been pushing through this fracture, and I had known it was a pain that was worse than anything I've ever felt. But I told myself I'm going to push through and provide for my team as much as I can. And when it happens, and the results came in after 4 faulty X-rays at the end, 4 days before state, it shatters you, you know. So right. For that whole time that I was out, I was not only trying to find myself through this injury, but my reason to come back. Right, and obviously, you know, the ambition was able to catch back on, and I was able to get it after a couple weeks of recovery. But you know, it took some time, and it helped me realize, it put the puzzle together. Because sometimes when you're flying through things, you don't really appreciate what you're achieving. And for me, it helped me realize, like, hey, if I hit a PR, I used to say, look, I wanted actually to do better. Even if I PR'd, I wanted to get 4 seconds better than what I had done.
Right.
But it's not being complacent, but I'd be more appreciative. If I get a PR, I get a PR, right? Sure. So, and it's helped me realize that through even cross-country season this year, because this past year, because, you know, I wasn't expecting much after the injury, but I got a lot more than I expected, and I was able to push through even though I didn't have much training. And you know what? It's just I'm happy I was able to provide for my team. That's why I've been able to redefine myself and be more appreciative of myself and everybody around me. So yeah.
What would you say was the most difficult part during that time?
Yeah, I'd say it's being able to see my team practice. Not because, you know, I want to beat them and stuff like that. Right. It's just knowing that, you know what, this is an improvement that I'm missing for sub-9 next in track, right? Or this little anaerobic that I need to have that kick at the end of state to be top 3 in California senior year, right? It's all the little details that I try to put in my head. When I see other people perform and I want to be with them, it gets me, you know, kind of like relentless. I want to go further and I want to do more. But every time I see that, I look down and I see a cast, and it's like, look, there's nothing you could do. You know, so I think that's what hurt me the most. Having to go from work 6 o'clock a.m. training to going to school to 6 a.m. After practice, and then doing homework, to waking up at 8 and then finishing school at 2:30, and then having the rest of the day to contemplate what I'm doing wrong, right? Because I was like, I'm not doing this correctly enough, I'm not healing quickly enough. And so I think obviously that was the hardest part, but that's also what, like you said, what did you find was your new desire? What did you get from it? I'd say was the patient part of it. Yeah.
Got it. And what would you say helped you the most during that time?
Say that again, sorry.
What would you say helped you the most during that time?
You know, I'd say it was my family, because, you know, when I am hurting, when I'm going through a struggle, you know, they're always there to help me, and it affects them very much too, because you know, with the level we're at Great Oak, every parent is so invested in making sure you're getting enough water, this and that. So at this point, I have a broken foot, and they have to think about how can we help now. And so my dad's a physical therapist at a nursing facility, but he's also like a sports trainer and stuff. So cool. For him, it was all about investing his time into helping me. And, you know, it gave me a sense of guilt, because a lot of the time was focused on my recovery. But when I look back, it makes me see that, you know, they were the ones that helped me push through. You know, I was so negative during that time. I was so sad because it was right at the end of the season. But at the end of the day, I look back and I could see that, you know, my parents helped me push through that, and my family and my friends, my loved ones. I was just very appreciative of that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely with the parents' support, for sure. Yeah, definitely how you mentioned just the support from parents for Great Oak, dude. Literally every single race, the parents that come out, Great Oak has the masses, man.
Right.
Every race I see, just huge group of parents, dude. Every single race, and they're always I went to Woodbridge, dude, there's a whole area just for the parents, just to sit down and chill and
right.
And
yeah, I played soccer, you'd expect there's a little more there. You know, you're going to state cup, you see everybody at the state cup and stuff. But when I went to Great Oak and I started running, I realized you see like, it's crazy to see greater turnout in cross country and track than in other bigger sports. So to be able to see that turnout, to be able to see what Coach Souls and Coach Noble have done to create a culture like that, it was like, I'm sold, you know. And so that being able to see their investment and the parents' investment too really shows the culture of Great Oak. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like the culture like over there is great, and that's one thing that I love about Great Oak as well. And just like especially like the biggest like like parent support system at Great Oak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of training wise, like with the quarantine, everything being canceled, like have you been like changing your training like more lower or just like not taking it too hard, or like how's the adjustment been?
Yeah, so far it's kind of been the same. You know, we had a schedule for track and we were cranking up because the peak time of season was coming around after you're getting into CIF and stuff. That's when we had to really crank, and
Right.
there was still a question as to whether these meets would still go on because CIF kept delaying April 4th. We're gonna make a decision then, and so we kept training through. You know, we kept going, and until the final announcement where they said we might have summer meets. At that point, we couldn't participate because seniors we probably going to be training across then.
Right.
So at that point, Souls decided to transition, and it'll give him for the returning runners an extra time to be able to focus on further development. That's an extra 3 months of training that they're going to be able to get, and they're going to be very fortunate at that. But for myself, it's been like transitioning the speed and the anaerobic and the repeats to the cross-country build of tempos, fartleks, and the gradual increase in training. For me, I felt like I've been working harder than ever. You know, been able to stay consistent, doing core and everything. I feel like the extra time sometimes gives extra time to do other things, but it's like I said, it's just I try to make a schedule so I don't go crazy, you know. And so the good thing about this is giving me extra time to focus on my craft and be able to recover properly and to have enough time to excel. So yeah,
it's awesome, man. But have you like thought about like maybe just lowering the intensity, because like it's been a long time until cross country season, and especially this uncertainty of like training at Berkeley too.
Right. Yeah. There's big question mark, like what are we training for, right? We don't even know if college is going to be first semester online.
Right.
So right. Yeah. So it's just a big question mark right now. And for me, I wanted to continue the track training to see where I would get in the season, but it's just time to be logical, and it's time to be able to get an extra large group of training for cross, because I really want to take advantage of my freshman year in college, because I want to be the best I could be again. So, for me, it's just I'm slowly tapering not the mileage or the intensity, but the type of speed I'm doing, because that's repeats and that's all that stuff that I need to peak and track. But I'm not looking to peak for a while, and I'm not looking to peak in that that area of the season. So it's kind of it's just transitioning a little bit to cross. But I do, I'm probably gonna have to lower mileage and intensity a little bit. But it's already been like that. Like the intensity of track when we're actually racing are the meets itself.
Right.
Because
exactly.
that's where we get the true anaerobic, the 100% effort.
Yeah.
And so 110% effort, if I'd say, giving it your all. So when that's out of the equation, you're already lowered in your amount of the work put in.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just because you're not going all out. So I'd say it's already kind of tapered, but I'm going to taper a little more for cross, but we'll see when it comes in time.
Got it. Have you done any like time trials?
So we had a few time trials. The problem was the tracks are closed, and with Great Oak, the janitors, they're amazing. They're taking care of the campus and they're making sure everything's maintained. At the same time, they're obligated. They're told to kick everybody out of the track when there's somebody there and stuff like that. So it's a detriment to our ability to train and to be able to race and stuff. So it's just trying to find a plot to race at. That's the hardest part. I did a mile race on my own in the track at night, but it wasn't the same. Because the Great Oak wind, when it hits nighttime, it gets pretty crazy. It was really tough, but I was able to push through and be able to use a stopwatch, so I didn't even get the correct timing. But I was just trying to see if I was maintaining shape, and it was able to tell me that I was. And from there, it was like, look, we have no season to train for, no time trials to go for, unless it's a meet-up time trial, which would be like kind of a greater chance to PR. Other than that, I'm going cross, you know?
Got it. Yeah, dude, same. Like I did a time trial at nighttime, like at around like 8, because
Right.
I went to Redondo track like at 10, and I started a workout, and I saw someone far distance, and he caught me, dude. The thing is that I was surprised. Like I got kicked out because I didn't even know that there was a security guard. It's
Right.
called like overseeing and patrolling the campus all day. So yeah, so I'm like
It's
okay,
weird.
so just making sure that I don't get kicked out. Just like picked at 8 o'clock nighttime that they all go
Yeah.
home, and because the funny part is like 15 minutes before at 7:45 there was actually a cop there, but he left like 5 minutes ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was hard, dude. Like the time trial, especially at night, and just like well for me, like I love running at night. Like definitely like the feeling wise, I don't know why. I just feel faster and just run well.
Well,
Like I
yeah,
never
it makes, yeah.
right. Like I never had like a bad race during the night or never had like a bad run. Like they're always like super fast paced. Like yeah, and like feel so good. But in terms of just like the like racing environment and not racing a lot of people, it's like
Yeah.
a wholly different way to execute your race. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
exactly. Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah, it's crazy.
and yeah, just like it helps you so much. Definitely like having a lot of people like running and like all the like the environment and like every like the mindset. 'Cause it's all about that mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's a certain threshold you reach with the adrenaline you get in a race. That's just night and day to what you would try to do if you're doing a time trial. Like if I try to do a time trial and go for 3,200, I'd hope that I think I would be able to get a really solid time on the board if I went all out and stuff like that. But it's the understanding that what, that's not like 100%. So if I even did a time trial, I'd give it with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's tough doing it alone. It's really tough.
For sure. Yeah, but I had my friend who would pace me. So, do you have any? You run with anybody in time trial just by yourself?
No, for pacers, no. For races, sadly, no. We kept the distance. We're texting, we're playing video games, keeping in contact through there. But yeah, it's been tough to try to get a time trial group together to race. Yeah, especially because the janitors are literally right there. So.
Right. Yeah. So another thing about like environment and like mentality wise, like I don't know, what do you think? Like for me, like I think like certain stadiums, like I think like the bigger and nicer ones, like I run faster. But the ones that are like this, yeah, and like, is that for you too? Just like
for me, like, my goal is just to try to surprise, try to like go all out.
Right.
And so, like, even as a freshman, I remember, my teammates would get mad when it was just a league meet and we had a pace to get a win, right? To just get some pointage on the board, and I would try to go all out and try to PR. And there was 2 people in the stands, but I just wanted to, go 100%, even though it's going to be the same as trying to run a time trial alone, because nobody else wants to go with you because, you're crazy. You're just trying to get a couple of points on the board, right? But it was still just the same concept, trying to give it all I got. But yeah, I agree. I think the bigger the meet, the more intense the competition and the more adrenaline you got to carry with you. It's also good to be able to have a big meet where you could pace, like run strategically and be able to have your full capabilities near the end of the race as well.
Got it. Yeah, for sure. And like for me, like there's certain tracks that like I like that like I run really well, and there's other tracks that like
Yeah, some tracks you're like, oh, this is not gonna be a good one. Yeah.
Right, yeah. How about like weather-wise? Do you run better at nighttime or like when it's nice and bright and sunny?
I've always tried to find, like, after races, I try to see what I did good, like, well, and what I did not so well. And for me, it's like I was always trying to find which time of day do I do better. But for me, I think for cross, I do better in harsh conditions. Even though I could do well in easy, flat, so I think it's all about fortitude there, and I try to keep positive when I'm able to push through those. But for the track, I'd say I like nighttime better. I don't know if it helps you perform better, but I like nighttime better because I think it's you don't have to worry about the sun. You don't have to worry about there's less factors to worry about when you're just trying to pace and try to get a good time at night. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, like for me, I think like I mentioned, like I think I'm like Batman, man. Just like perform really well at night. And just,
There we go.
Feels so good at night, dude. Yeah, but like for me, I think like I was thinking about like the way I think, especially like in terms of weather. Like I love super sunny, like not like super hot, but like nice and like clear blue skies or like nice clouds and just like very beautiful like sunny day, but like and like like when I run during those weather, like just the mentality, like man, what a beautiful day, like and I tend to like run really well, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like and think about like, oh, if it wasn't sunny, like would I still run well? Like just like my
Yeah,
mood and
it's
just
a
like the
question
way I
mark,
think.
right?
Right.
It was here instead of there and stuff like that. Same thing with the season. If we raced or if we did, what times we got. It's all those questions.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, quarantine allows you to think a lot, and that's a good thing, and sometimes a bad thing. It's just
Right.
speak to your vices.
What would you say is like the biggest thing that you learned from like the sport of cross country and track, just in running in general?
For me, so many qualities I've learned. Like from being able to see the way my coaches run the program, just the ability to organize, to lead, to be the figure. I've seen that, and I was able to experience that for 4 years, and to be able to learn like such things in cross country and track, be able to apply it beyond, and that's just invaluable. It's so awesome to be able to learn those things. But for cross and track, I'd say, being able to have this ambition, right? Because in soccer, I used to play soccer, and my parents, from Argentina, so it's a big soccer crowd, and they're amazing at what they do, and they're able to keep the consistency. But when I played soccer, I felt like there were more factors, right? The coach doesn't put you in, you don't have a performance at all.
Right.
You play only a few minutes, you get sent out, you have a bad performance. For running, it's been able to show me my pure ambition. I could go 100%, and I could get 100% effort, and I could get 100% raw, right? And that's the beauty of running. You just go from point A to point B, and you give it all you can. There's no other factors in the way. So it's helped me realize that, you know what, I'm able to have this ambition to be the best I could be, and I could, from learning from this, I could apply it beyond, and I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Like from all the sports I play, like definitely like running is like the best, or like the most I learn, and like so many things that you can just learn in terms of just like character, mindset, and just like
Right.
and definitely like just like pain tolerance level as well, just different level. But
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
it's just another level.
Right, and just like the grind that you put in, because like running is crazy hard, and especially like very mental sport. So yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the mental part of it is extremely crucial.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of training wise, going back to training, like have you contacted with like your Berkeley coach about in terms of training, like in the future and like during the end of the summer?
Right. Yeah. So right now, per NCAA rules, they can't really contact us because this is we'd still be in, at school or in season as well. So with that in mind, we're not transferred to their school, so we're not in the NCAA umbrella. So until then, we're fortunate to have Souls be able to give us the schedules and train from there. But man, there's a big question mark because we don't know if there even is going to be, a season coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, yeah, it's just there's so many question marks. So for training, it's just been able to kind of get that mileage based in that's crucial for the distances in cross country and college, and just maintaining from there. Yeah.
Got it. And what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind as a high school runner?
Obviously the goal of every runner is to just leave great times, and I wanted to break records, and I was fortunate enough to be able to break a good chunk of them. But more importantly to me was able to leave a culture behind. There's always this view of Great Oak as a winning team, and there's a reason to that. Coach Souls is able to, Coach Noble as well, are able to, create this amazing circumstance, this amazing culture that people could build around. But for me, it was being able to enter and be the biggest leader I could be, and then also leave a legacy of culture behind. And so that was by creating a Great Oak families, right, where you're able to, not families, but it's a saying where you have a senior runner be able to guide, say, their younger brother, right? So like, I was the guy who was guiding Mark Cortez, and so I would show Mark Cortez, this is what you do in the drills, this is what you should do in the races. Unfortunately, we were able to apply that also for track, but to be able to introduce things that that would be able to improve the culture, to be able to connect with freshmen. People don't leaders on teams usually, they focus on the top 7 groups and stuff like that. My goal was to go throughout, and my goal was hoping to be able to see these freshmen and tell them of their future and their abilities and their able, chance to develop. And so just trying to give them hope, just trying to give them more for what they already see. They know they're going to be good, but how do we help them realize or show them the transition from getting a sub-5 flat as a freshman to near 4, low 4 as a senior? And that's just being able to be down to earth with them. And my goal was just trying to be able to connect. My goal is to try to create a great culture and be the best I could be.
Got it. Yeah, definitely. Like for like what I know and like heard from just like the culture and leadership at Great Oak, it's not like any like other that I know. Like super
Right.
strong. And like you mentioned, like the thing about Great Oak, like Doug mentioned, like he cares like a lot of teams, like a lot of focus and emphasis on like the top 7 runners and the way they treat them. But I think Great Oak, like that what I know of, and just like Doug mentioned, and just like he cares even like the slow runners and even people in the back, and treats them like everybody as as like a top or a good runner. So
Yeah. For a team that's in the triple digits, it's obviously like a project to be able to ask every runner every day how you're doing, right? So for Souls, it was it was just trying to find a way to be able to group people together of their like capabilities to create that sociability and that ability to get better or get that ambition for running. And so even if they want to be JV and have fun, they have that opportunity to. Just creating a good Great Oak culture for them to be the best they could be or they want to be, and then he set up such a great program.
Right. And just like normally like from other schools, like the top or like the lower like level runners, like they don't get that much care or just like like attention. But I think like what I know of the Great Oak, like there's a lot of care and attention to like people in the back, the slower runners as well that are trying to run or develop or just doing cross country for for fun or friends. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So what would you say is like have you grown the most from running from the past 4 years?
I think there's a lot of things that come into play. I've always wanted to be somebody that people could look up to, and I've always wanted to guide people in a positive light. So being able to do that consistently for the years in my high school experience, I felt so lucky to do that because I know it's going to translate hopefully in the future. Being able to help, and my goal was on and off the course to to be able to give back and help and hopefully with this extra time in quarantine, beginning with those cards and everything, it'll translate and it'll be able to kind of create this positive light on what everybody's trying to do when they're in high school. But I feel like I've learned with the injury and things about growing and stuff, I've learned obviously patience was huge for me. Knowing that success comes in time, and time, you have to make do with time, right? So you got to put all that effort into the time you have, but it has to take time the same way. So just be patient, and that was a big thing for me. Being a leader, being patient, and having the fullest ambition. And I feel like the raw potential of cross country and track has helped me kind of realize that.
Got it. In terms of just running wise, like how did you get into running? Like, did your parents did you run in middle school, or did your parents wanted you to say, hey, try out running?
Right. So for me, so my dad's from Argentina, my mom's from Argentina, and my dad was gonna go pro in the United States, and he in all these circumstances, he loves soccer, and so I was expected to play soccer, right? So I played it and I loved it, and it was amazing for me, but it was all thanks to Coach White in middle school. He's my PE teacher. He was my PE teacher at the time. He had this program, extension called 100 Mile Club there, and that was a kind of a goal as it was to keep a healthy middle school group of kids, right? So the goal was, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get 3 miles every day, each day. And you have to do it before school. And so that kind of helped me get into the kind of the rhythm of waking up early for high school in the future. But it also helped me to realize how much I love running. I mean, 6th grade, I wasn't the greatest. I started halfway in, I think, doing 100 Mile Club. So that was our 2 miles, 3 miles, every Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
And I was like 27th place in a 1.8 mile race. I was 7:14 in the mile, and so it wasn't raw talent. It was just seeing that, you know what, I like what Coach White's putting down. I like the ideas. I wanted to be the best at it as I could be. And so I went in and I kept working. I kept doing the 100-mile club, and I was fortunate to be able to block down time. So I went from 7:10, 6th grade, to 5:19, 7th grade, to 4:59, 8th grade. On this 1 mile hill course that was like this high incline loop, downhill and stuff. So I remember it perfectly because of the way Coach White and the surrounding PE teachers, Ms. Garrett, Mr. Compost, Mr. Woods, they were able to kind of put this culture into play. And, you know, it just set such a great taste in my mouth, being able to realize that, you know, everybody loves this, and there's a great time for it. So I loved it. I had a great time, and that's kind of like what got me into running. I was still questionable in high school. I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. And then I just did a training block over the summer. And, you know, it was from there, it was just a love at first sight after that.
Right. Wait, so did you do the middle school, like, South Temecula Track Club?
Yeah, so I did that, if I'm not wrong, 8th grade. I don't know if I did it 7th grade, but I did 8th grade. And it wasn't a great showing because I had never raced with spikes ever. So my first race with flats was the first race or like the second race in high school, the first race in high school. And there were flats that they're New Balance, they were good, but they were not worn in, they're brand new. I didn't know what they were. So I didn't know the culture of the sport, but I knew I liked it. So when I went out to the track, I did those meets and stuff. It was a great time. I was able to see how great of a culture Great Oak was, but I wasn't able to see my potential in the sport. So it was just a play of events for me to be able to keep interest and to keep going. And so it was fun. I liked it. It was cool.
So what point was it 6th grade, like your mindset changed, saying that, I'm gonna train, like, become the fastest runner that I can be, and do what I need to do to, you know, be the best version?
Right. Yeah. It was funny enough. After the 7:10 in 6th grade, I was like, I want to be the best I could be in sport. You know, I was sold out. I want to do it.
Starting early.
Yeah, very early, but I wasn't training a lot early. So what helped me realize I wanted to be the best I could be in high school was the first race I ever raced. I was able to get a 15:27, break the meet record for the freshman and the school record. And then after that, I was like, okay, you know, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Souls is going to help me lead to a great experience, and I'm ready for it. So I was excited then.
Got it. So that challenge, like 100-mile thing, like, do you guys like run in the morning too, like before school, or is it just you?
Yeah, so it was a middle school thing, and Mr. White would come out. It was an hour and a half before school, and he'd come out and he'd walk out of his room because he'd be there earlier, and he'd come out with a set of cones, and he ran with us, and he said, "Okay, guys, so our run today is this loop," and he says the name, and we automatically knew the name from how much we used to, you know, run around there. It was all safe routes, so it was just a select few routes because we were middle schoolers then, and we just knew him right off the top of our head. And then he'd give the front runners a group of cones. We'd lay it out for the people that are just showing up for the first time, and we'd guide them through the run. And so it was every hour and a half before school on Tuesday and Thursdays. So it was just a great experience. I think it helped a lot of people realize how much they love the sport.
Right. But I think that's early, dude. Like before school, like you guys don't do it like after school though, like.
Nope.
Yeah.
So exactly. So we would, like at school, we'd have a warm-up lap at PE and stuff like that. And, you know, just the simple stuff. Monday we have the runs. So Monday we have get a certain amount of laps and you get an A, right? But I'd always run, instead of for the half mile, I'd run like 10 of them. I try to run as much as I can because, you know, I just... a young middle schooler didn't know anything, and so I would just go have a good time, and that was kind of like the training that kind of helped us. But other than that, it was just, the extracurricular activities such as playing, field hockey and stuff like that, the stuff in middle school.
Right.
Other than that, it was just, Tuesdays and Thursdays and no really other running stuff except for the mandatory mile we'd have to do.
Right, same.
But yeah.
Yeah, like for middle school, like we had like a mile like every Friday, every week. So
Exactly, yeah, we would too.
that's interesting. Like you guys do it in the morning, because that's hard for middle schoolers just to wake up in the morning and have that dedication to show up. And like I wonder, like if you have practice in the morning, like people wouldn't show up, but a lot more show up after school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of intensity, dang, 100 miles is a lot. Like, do you guys like run a lot of mileage?
So no, in middle school we would. So the goal for the whole year was 100 miles.
Oh, okay.
So 100-mile club, and so the goal was to get 100 miles, get this cool ribbon and stuff because it was from an organization, and that was the goal of everybody. But being me, the ambition I wanted to create for running, starting sixth grade, I was like, I'm gonna get the most mileage ever, and so I think at the end of my middle school experience, I got to 1,300 miles, which is still, it's not wow, that's an insane amount, but it's just being consistent.
Right.
Every week, going Monday and Thursday, trying to do the most mileage available, which is probably 4 miles. And just for one day, that's it. That's all I would do for the whole week. But being able to do that, it just kind of helped me set up for high school, I'd say.
Right. I thought you mean like just like cross country season and track season in middle school. I think that's a lot, like for middle school kids, because you just don't want them to like burn out and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like recently I joined what's called like being a head coach for like a middle school for a track team.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like I was thinking about like in terms of like planning like practice and like mileage wise and just like either doing workouts and stuff like that. So I realized like like middle school kids like I don't know like they need to run a lot, just need to get that, running, feeling and just like that, experience, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. I think middle school, and Mr. White did this perfectly along with everybody in the middle school staff, it's just putting there how cool the sport is.
Right, and having fun as well.
And yeah, you don't have to do a crazy amount of miles, just lay down the platter,
right,
and then see if they want to take it. And that's what we were able to do in high school. So it was just so cool of them to be able to do that for us.
Got it. What do you think about like workouts in middle school? Because I was thinking about like I did one workout and I made the kids do it, but like it's weird because like, they had a really hard time, but the pace they're going in the mile all out, it's like a lot more faster, but still had a hard time like going slower pace.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a lot. But I was thinking about like is it worth it, or like do they really need to do a workout, or should they do a workout? But I was like, for me, like I don't think so, because I think like they don't need that high, like they don't need that training, because like as a middle schooler, it's just like number one, just getting that experience, getting that time, and just the feeling of running, and also building that and also just having fun. But,
right. The fun part of it is what's important,
Yeah. So, and in terms of just like running fast and hard, will just be races,
Yeah. And I mean, they have the mandatory mile too, and I'd say that's a race. Like that's their workout, and everything else, just have a good time, get a feel for the sport.
Right. What do you think about workout? Do you think they should I should implement some workouts, or like are you?
Let's see, Coach James. What do you? I think you should we used to have one. What was it? Like one PE period in the semester. We have an Olympic day, and so it would be a day where they'd experience every single event, or the events they applied for, and they'd race against other people, or they'd hurdle, or they just have a good time. And so the Olympic day was kind of like their workout, or our workout, but it wasn't harsh, it wasn't hard, and it was only once a semester. So it's just getting even when it's a workout, it's just getting the feeling of how fun it is. So maybe for you, it's just like, hey, let's see what you like. Let's try sprints, let's try 100 meter, let's try distance, let's try mile race. Not all at once, obviously, or not like every single race, but that sounds like fun. I think they'll enjoy that.
I mean, how about because for us, we already have a set of groups. Like for me, I have 4 really hard, dedicated distance runners that want to work hard. And do you think they should do small workouts, or
Yeah, so for me, like, well, I was invited to Temecula Time Machine, which is this program they have around here. It's for youth athletes and cross country and track and stuff like that. And all my teammates would used to do that, but I never did it. I just didn't get it. I didn't even know what flats were. So how would I even know about races and stuff? But like for kids that are really really dedicated, you see like kids the size of 4'8". They're killing it in the mile. But it's all up to either their ambition. They say, hey, look, I want to race, or their parents allowing them to, or making them, or them come up to you and say, hey, James, look, I want to try this. Or you should ask them, hey, look, do you want to try a workout one day?
Right.
And then make it fun, make it short, make it a good time, and then see from there.
Yeah, that's what I did, but for some reason, just like some people like just didn't work out, or because like they don't have that much experience in terms of workout, so like something they treat it as like a race, so they don't know how to like pace wise, so like they just burn out. But yeah, but also like one time, so like, but after that, I didn't get a chance to like like talk to them and make adjustments. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think in terms of running wise, because I know some kids, dude, they go crazy training wise just in middle school, but like I think in terms of just like making sure that they don't burn out and like making sure, because they all of that grind and that hard training is all in high school,
Burnout worry, that's it right there.
Yeah, right.
Kids, they come into high school and they never ran in their life, and they're amazing sport.
Right, for sure.
So I mean, it goes either way. Like there could be a kid coming from like Time Machine and just killing it and just going straight through high school and doing the same thing, or there could be the opposite. A guy that never raced in his life and he just goes onto the course and does the same.
Right.
So it's just a big question mark. That's the crazy thing about youth athletics. Like, we could do 100-mile club. We don't have to, But if you're gonna do it and you develop, it's just exponential how you get better to high school. And it's just really neat. I think that's pretty unique about being able to bridge into high school.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, just like I think like my view is just making sure like, especially middle school kids in terms of training wise, just like not running a lot, just running like little bit and just like a couple times a week and just getting, like I said, just getting that feel and just having fun. And later in high school, then where you can start like bring up that intensity.
Then they learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about just learning and growing. For sure.
My middle school coach, I would always say I want to do more mileage. I want to do this, and just trying to be ambitious. And he'd say, look, he said, I'm here to teach you to have fun.
Right.
And have a good time, to love running. He said, you want to be great? He said, you're going to go to high school. He said, but look, I'm here for you to have the best experience you can in middle school to make sure you have that ambition to do it in high school. And that's true. If people get burned out in middle school, or they do workouts every day in middle school, it doesn't translate to the same love for it because you've been doing it so long. But to be able to have that curiosity and that ambition as well to do it starting in high school, that's just such a difference.
Right, and I think like in terms of just like not getting burned out, especially like because I think a lot of runners struggle with getting burned out and just overdoing training wise, and sometimes like starting like doing crazy too much in the beginning, but later on just like being so tired, especially towards like the important races towards the end, especially like people coming from middle school to high school. But like you said, just like learning and just making sure that you enjoy it. Because I think like if you just like, burn out like and do crazy amount of training and just to the point like you're just so exhausted, like joy kind of goes away. So just making sure that you got that love and that enjoy and that motivation for sure. So like as a high school student, like with all the like media attention, like after like your first race, getting like what was it like getting interviewed for, like the first time after your race, and later after that like almost every single race you get interviewed for the next like couple of years?
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because you go from I don't know what the sport is to training through the summer to get there to training with your teammates to an interview, and it's just so weird. It's a really crazy and quick transition, but it just helps you realize I'm gonna try to stay in the sport for as long as I can, because obviously I'm doing something right, so it just kind of helps you realize like, hey, you're on the right track. And I think it's very nice of media companies and organizations to cover not only the senior spotlights and the amazing juniors and the rising sophomores, but the lowly freshmen that are going to get great, you know?
Right.
And I think that's what keeps the sport going, are the tons of reporters like yourself, marking the top runners and also recognizing the developing ones.
For sure.
And so for me, when I did that interview, I was like, man, I'm really interested in the sport, you know?
Yeah. Dude, at first, like, I didn't know, like high school, like, especially, like, media was so invested in, like, high school running. Like, I didn't know there's, like, so many reporters and, like, multiple, like, just, like, website and, like, so invested in
right.
it. So, because I thought just mainly, like, football, like, and, like, basketball, the popular sports.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I expect. I was so surprised, yeah.
Right, yeah. But, like, what's some of your thoughts on, like, all, like, the media attention in terms of, like, being mentioned a lot in, like, articles and, like, rankings and just,
right, yeah.
Yeah, how was that effect on you?
I think it's a positive thing, because, you could use it as a platform, right? Not just, I did this and it's all about myself, but being able to use it as, to say thank you to the people that got you there. Like I always say thank you to my coaches, and, if I'm with my teammates in the interview, thank you to my teammates for being able to give me this opportunity to either race well because it's after a race, or to be there, right? Because, you got to be fortunate of the people that helped you get there. And for me, it's like, even if it's an individual interview, I try to find ways to kind of point out other people and their impacts for me, So I think it's a great thing. I think it's being able to show what's the unshown in an interview form. So
for sure, yeah, and it's definitely just like a team aspect, and especially in cross country, like sometimes being like interviewing in like for your individual accomplishment, but also just like it's a team aspect as well.
Yeah, you can win with a single score. Yeah.
Like I mentioned, like Tyler, I was just talking with Tyler like a couple days ago, and like we were just talking about like, in terms of like media and stuff like that. Like he mentioned like how like every single time like he races, like he gets interviewed individually, but this is like other teammates doesn't get interviewed, and like he's like talking about like dude, like they're great too, and they accomplish a lot, and we did together, and like saying that like I'll do another interview only like if you interview like all my other teammates and we do it together as a team. So just like the team aspect.
Yeah, that's what's important about it.
And
being able to include other people.
Right, yeah. And so what do you think? Like we mentioned before, like grade opening, such a huge aspect of just like leadership and culture. Like, what do you think your role is in the team?
My role?
Yeah.
I think it was being kind of like the translator to souls. Because like I was fortunate enough to be the leader of the team, and to be able to get people in the huddles, to get people in the talks, to get people to keep going, and they also helped me in times when I was down and when I was through injury and stuff. But being able to be the guy that that I could go to people and they could respect my voice from experience, and that I could also be able to tell souls a lot of input of training, of new implementations and things like that. So it's kind of like being able to be a leader / middleman, because I'm not here to get the respect of being a leader, to get the interviews for being one, but to be able to be a guidance for not only the future, but for the people in my top 7, top 6 people surrounding me. It's just being able to get their recognition, to be able to be the guy that is able to recognize them in an individual form, and also talk to souls about what we're thinking.
For sure, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, what do you think what do you want your legacy to be in life? Another deep question.
In life, I wanna give back more than I took out. It's just there's always this goal to be to get the most out of life, and I do, but I also want to give a lot to life as well. If that's in form of for me, it's in fixing the environment, little things, right? To be able to impact or leave your footprint in a good way. I think that's very important to me. To me, legacy is not about how many accomplishments you've gotten, how many awards. Even though that's really nice, and I really, really like that on the way, it's just being able to do something that's not superficial, that actually impacts, And for me, it's trying to help in every way I can. And now, fortunately, unfortunately, my club is shut down at school, but that was a club that I ran to support individuals at our school that are freshmen incoming, or even people that are seniors that can't afford equipment for sports. It was being able to have our donation money as a club and donate to people individually that are willing to give it their all and to appreciate what they get for the sport. So it's just being able to give them more than I already took, because I was fortunate to get a lot from grade O, but to be able to give back in that club, to be able to have a group around me, setting up things like the mails to the elderly in the coming weeks. It's just always, for me, trying to be helping more than getting, right?
For sure, yeah, same dude. Like, definitely need more people just like caring about other people and thinking about others, and yeah, just for sure, and just creating that change and just like being that person as a giver, for sure.
Yeah, that's the goal,
Yeah, and talking about the club, I just interviewed Tori, and she talked about just like the club, those in need, and like how you started, and like talking about just like the things that you guys do, which is like amazing, dude. Like, great job, dude. What you're doing.
Thank you.
Like, where did that inspiration come from, and when did that started?
Right. When you have a team in the triple digits like Souls does, and even a single team at Great Oak High School, you're a Division I because of the population. You have a lot of people either they're just trying to have an extracurricular activity like sports, but they don't all have the same circumstance monetarily, right? They don't have the same money to invest into the sport. Right. So the club is just a goal to try to even the playing field, right? Like, we were fortunate enough to be able to fund enough to donate a mountain bike for a guy who wanted to try out the mountain bike team.
Wow.
And two little things like that to pay for a full 2 seasons of sport, to be able to spread the word so more people could not only donate to the club, but to mentor those who are going to the club. Because some are incoming and they want to learn about more than just what they need for their equipment, but what they need to be the best they could be. So the club came up with the idea of saying, hey, look, I see the bottom runners on the team. And the reason they're the bottom is because they're getting injured, because Nike's amazing. We love Nike, and Nike does everything for us, and we really appreciate everything they do. But how hard is it to give out 300 shoes to every single runner on our team? Extremely hard. And that's unfathomable, and I know that's not possible. So for me, it was like, okay, let's bridge the gap a little bit. And to be able to see people that were coming off of injuries and wearing the same shoes and getting injured again, it was being able to fund enough to get them shoes so they don't have to worry about it, right? Because they couldn't afford it before. The goal was to take finance out of the equation. And it just started last year when school started. Okay. And it was an ambition to include everybody, all the varsity, to help the people that are trying to come up the rungs. And it impacted a lot. Sadly, what happened, it's not going to go further than this year. But it's funny because I'm using the same cards that we're going to send out for donations as a for those in need card, and we're going to and it's the same card I'm using to send to nursing homes because they're those in need right now. So it's just trying to be as big as help as we can be, and for the club, it was in that form. It was equipment and mentorship.
That's awesome, man. That's super inspiring, man. Yeah, keep up the good work, dude.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, just definitely just thinking about others and just giving them opportunity. With some people that don't have the same opportunity that we have, and just definitely like using what we have and the opportunities we have to give it to those that might not have it. That's
right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just imagine all the people that could have been the best at their sport, but they never tried out because they didn't have the facility to do so. Right. And that's what I hate to hear about. So that's why I needed to start something like that.
It's awesome. So what are some of your goals? We kind of mentioned about what kind of legacy you want in life. So it's kind of something similar, but what are some of your goals in life and things that you want to achieve?
That's a tough one, huh?
Yeah. Drop the deep question.
Yeah, there you go. It's just here's how I look at life. Even though I do stress out in the moment and stuff, I try to go back to the concept somebody said once. You could see your life in the past. You could know everything about it. You could talk about your PRs. You could expect everything because it's already happened. It was expected already. but you can never see the future. No matter how hard you try to plan it, how hard you try to work for it, whatever you try to get from it, you're not going to be able to get what hasn't happened. Right. So for me, it's like my goals in life are not set yet. And when I have a goal, I'm going to wait for the future to get it for me, you know? So I'm going to work towards it. I'll know what I did in the past that will hopefully satisfy what I get in the future. So it's just doing the day-by-day things to be the best I could be in whatever I want to do. And so if it's now being in the quarantine and doing the best recovery I can after workouts, it's going to be that. And it's going to be helping me in the future and reaching my goals. So honestly, I have no clue, but it's just trying to follow that model to get there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man, for sure. So from your experience from like running, what are some advice and tips for the younger generation of runners going to high school?
Right. That's a good one as well. You know, I think it's, for a start, not to be intimidated of, you know, say the already seniors or the people that you're facing. You're going in to the same race everybody else is experiencing. You're going in the same weather when you're racing as everybody else is.
Right.
You just go in to have fun and then see what you get out of it. You know, I know a lot of the incoming runners, they always have questions to ask. They always have something to learn, and that's a beautiful thing because you know what, you can't tell them what your experience was and have them expect to have the same thing, right? Oh, you're gonna get this time. You can't. So it's just being able to leave, you know, a road or a path for them to follow, and then go to ride it whichever way they want. So my thing was, okay, let's create that family system. Let's do these things to help them, you know, develop however they want to. So I would tell them, hey, look, be who you want to be, you know, be as ambitious as you want to be, and then see how that translates. Run your first race, and then let's talk. And then let's see what your goals are in the future, right? And I think, if anything, I could say, like in this moment, like permanently, is one, like, be patient. You know, like that's the only thing I can really tell them. Be patient and be consistent. I mean, if you're a kid that's not training, but you expect some goals, you're not going to get there. So it's being consistent, being patient on what you're doing. That's all I could really put there.
Dude, same, man. Totally agree with that advice for sure. And it's like how you mentioned, like everybody, like, yeah, it's different, and everything, you know, works different from other people in terms of just if it's like training mileage and just like what they do and like race experience. Like everybody's different. Everybody has like a different path and has different experiences, and they have everybody has their own, you know, way for sure.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like talking about like Berkeley, man. It's crazy like how like so many of your teammates, man, and also like the team already being there, coming to Berkeley, dude. Like, did you guys like talk about that like before, or like it's like, yo, like you're going to Berkeley? Are you considering Berkeley?
Yeah, so you know, I was the last to decide because I was, you know, because I was going through injury and stuff. So I kind of missed out on a bulk of the recruiting process throughout. So I wanted to make sure I fulfilled all that before I made a decision. So being able to see everybody signing there. It's like, man, this is really cool. And then on top of it, them coming to me saying, hey, look, are you going to be a Golden Bear? Are you going to come to Berkeley and stuff like that? And so it was just, it wasn't planned. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't expected, but it was just, you know, it was awesome. It's just cool to know that, you know, we're not going to be alone going out there. We're going to be a whole pack of there. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, now you guys are creating culture. Like Matthew Nguyen, like we're talking about, like now he wants to go to, Anthony Nguyen now wants to go to Berkeley because, you know, like you guys got culture now.
Cool. Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. And now it's creating like other people want to come to Berkeley and to run with, continue that, you know, that team, you know, culture and aspect for sure. It's like it's like Berkeley and Long Beach now, man. It's like
Carlos, Berkeley, Long Beach.
Right, it's crazy how like everybody's like transferred and went to Long Beach, and like Great Oaks mainly like Long Beach and Berkeley now.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think it's the culture of the team. You know, like that all those that transferred to you know, Long Beach, they were top 7 brothers. You know, they had experienced a lot. So I think that was kind of making them feel inseparable, even though they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't, you know, they're all, you know, oh, you know, we're not going to like be that close. They are very close, and I think that could be a factor, as well as my decision too, subconsciously, you know, just knowing that I've already experienced a lot with them, and maybe that's not a safe place to go to, but a good one too.
For sure. What are some of the other schools that you're interested in considering besides Berkeley? There are like 2 or 3.
So I was considering. I was talking to Columbia, Yale, and UCLA, and a lot of these places. So after junior year when I got injured, I started going. I started reaching. I didn't know what I was going to do for senior year, so I just contacted, and I contacted the places I would be interested in, and also the good programs because I want to be as good as I could be. So I had contacted many schools, and they're all amazing coaches, and I appreciate their time and stuff. But at the end of the day, it was like, it was a narrowing point, and I was keeping in contact with those schools. But yeah, it was Berkeley at the end of the decision. So.
Yeah. So in terms of just like recruitment wise, being such a like elite, crazy level, like early, like freshman, sophomore, and accomplishing crazy stuff, and running some crazy fast times, where you got injured, and like. How's that like? What was that process like for you? Like in terms of just like other coaches, like maybe like stepping back a little bit because like you're injured and you got like maybe maybe getting slower or just that aspect. Like how was that like process and yeah?
Experience? Yeah, I just it was kind of like a standstill. Like you're hitting PRs, you're hitting amazing times, and then right when you're supposed to get recruited. You disappear off all the times and the radars. Even though you're one of the tops, right. You disappear off the radars. And that's heartbreaking because you see people who have continued and have not gotten injured with like recruitment from the start and improvement in times most especially. So it was tough. But I'm happy with I'm very, very happy with where I ended up. And I'm hopeful, man. I just know I got lucky. Even through all the injuries and stuff, I was fortunate to be able to make it somewhere. But this leads me back to feeling bad for how the juniors of this year they're having the same experience, right? And they hadn't. What if they hadn't put the times I had for freshman sophomore year, right? So it was kind of like a downfall after freshman and sophomore year, and I wasn't able to fully recover senior year to reach the full capabilities if I were to run junior year. But I'm satisfied because I know I'll have an even playing ground for college. But for the people that are juniors, I feel truly bad for them and seniors.
Yeah. In terms of just like being injured and the coaches like mindset and just like the thoughts, I'm just really curious about that like part. Like, was there any coaches that kind of like reconsidered their thoughts or like and reach back to you and like adjusting stuff, discussing?
Well, like, because you're getting recruited junior year. That was kind of like, so the start of the season cross country is like the start of your junior year. Right. So that's kind of the start, the kind of like starting trickle of recruitment. And so through all of that, I was fortunate to keep in contact with Nebraska, which was one actually higher than Yale and UCLA as my top picks because it was a very tough decision between me at the end, Nebraska and Cal. Their program is amazing, their coaches are amazing. But fortunately, they were able to see through all that and keep in contact, and I was so fortunate to have that, along with Berkeley. But, you do realize, like, hey, I got that email from them, and you look at the date, but, said school all of a sudden hasn't responded to you in 3-4 months after what happened. So, I mean, it makes sense. They're running on the air of caution. Like, it makes sense. I mean, if you have a kid that got injured, they don't want to risk it. But my problem with the system of recruiting, not because it was my experience, even though it was, for others, it's being so stuck to the book. Like, you got a 9:10, but our walk-on times are 9:09, right? It's just not being realistic, right? I got a 9:16 as a sophomore, but their walk-on time for seniors is 9:15. That's not realistic. So they got to really understand. They got to really compute what they want. And sometimes it's tough for coaches that are recruiting across the nation to look into and research individually, and I understand that. But for people who had experienced injuries, not myself, but for people who are coming off of them, regarding the times with a little bit more consideration when they're younger than walking on or barely making it as a senior, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just, one problem with the recruiting system is the fact that the logistics of it is sometimes off. But that's also because of the class they're trying to create. They're trying to get as many people as they can. But finding those, not diamonds in the roughs, but just logical decisions that just fell through because of a computative system or a mathematical equation that didn't register because of 1 second. So that's what's kind of frustrating to me. Those little things.
And that's big. I didn't know that. Yeah. So 1 second, from the mark that they want you to hit, they're not that interested or give you that opportunity.
Yeah. They pass out those emails, but it would be by seconds that you wouldn't make it, or you wouldn't make it for a walk-on qualification because of that time, and they have to persuade a director of track to get you on there, right? But there should be a cushion. Right. And there's a lot of really considerate schools that do so. But when you're in a big program, or when you're at this high elite level, it makes sense. I know you're trying to find. There's a lot of potential.
Right.
But there's these things that are lived through. There's countless of runners that are D2 in college that are all of a sudden beasts going pro. Right. D3, D4. And it happens because of the lack of consideration to the closeness of time, the reading through. And so little things like that. And I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm not saying even the majority. It's just the important factors that need to be applied now.
Got it. Dang. Yeah, for sure. Everyone's surprised 1 or 2 seconds, very close. And I think in terms of I think another thing which is big in terms of recruitment is just potential and growth. Even though kind of a couple seconds off, if this person can grow and have that potential to just grow as a totally different runner. And one thing I realized about college is so many college runners kind of no name, they tend to become and also high school no name, they tend to become pro, crazy transformation and growth.
It's just a luck of the draw. It's it was like you're watching the football draft, less than a few days ago, and you just. But you don't know at the same time. One of them is going to be a superstar that was under the radar, but you just don't know until it turns out. And that's sometimes that makes sense when you don't see that in the recruiting process. But it's just a weird kind of way to recruit.
Yeah. In terms of football, I've been recently or I did a lot of kind of research upon the star the really good players in the NFL and look back at the previous in the college and stuff like that, sure. And their draft, a lot of the top runners, some of the really top prospects, they do become good, but a lot of the majority of very successful and do really well in NFL, they're kind of no name, they get drafted and
wasn't Brady the 7th round?
Yeah, exactly. And people getting drafted so late, but they become super good. But I also realized a lot of people that do crazy good in college and get drafted super early, they struggle in the NFL.
Yeah, it's we're different types of threshold,
right.
Just football's just different level,
For sure.
Yeah.
What is the biggest thing? What is the biggest thing that you one thing that you chose Berkeley that stand out for you, kind of besides the kind of prestige or the academics or just the big thing that stood out compared to you had other schools that really good academic schools and also running, but which is a big thing that stood out for you?
Yeah, at the end the decision was between Cal and Nebraska, and the decision was a fingernail decision, and it was because of how great both of the institutions are. Because Nebraska's for sports facilities, they're unparalleled.
Oh, they're insane.
Even for football, it's unparalleled. Think about for running, everything is great there. And then you look at Cal, and they're just this team potential and the growth coming with a new coach in Lockhart. I know it's going to be a great team, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy, roughing up all of the national expectations. Along with the education side of it, I think that the final decision was with consideration to the distance. At the start, and even when I went unofficial to Nebraska, I did not consider that I was going to try to spread my wings and see how the experiences were. And don't get me wrong, it was one of the best experiences I've had. But the education of Berkeley, the running of Berkeley, the potential of Berkeley, the amazing coach that's coming in, I just felt like it was close to home, and it felt like a good place to be. So I was very fortunate to have been able to join Berkeley.
Sure, that's awesome, man. Do you know what you want to major in, or not yet?
Yeah, so I was thinking of something in law or something in business,
Cool.
but I'm not going to let the undergrad decide for me because I want to take a class that I truly enjoy. Because right now, I like classes and I enjoy them and I'm able to do well in them, but I haven't found my love yet. I haven't found, wow, I want to do this for the rest of my career.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for that, and I'll let 2 years of undergraduate in general education decide for me.
Got it. So is there plans on going pro as of right now?
There always is, but with my experience in breaking my foot and everything, I know there's obstacles to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't even raced yet. So
Right.
how the translation from high school to college, there's just tons of question marks. But again, I'm going to do everything that I can do, so when I look in the past, I know it could be better in the future.
For sure.
So in this circumstance, I'm going to just do everything I can and be the way I've been, and let that take me as far as it will. And I'm hoping that it will take me very, very far. But we'll see. Yeah.
So in college, the big thing is like a lot of students is about growth and growing as a person. So how do you want to grow as a person at Berkeley, and what do you want to take away from your experience in college, and when you graduate and go into adult life?
Yeah, so I want to kind of do more of the same with what I did in high school. Being able to set up clubs, being able to be a leader on a team, to just kind of lay guidance for everybody else in the future. But I don't know. I'm looking to be able to be economically stable and successful, as well as mentally stable and successful, because I don't want to get a job that I don't enjoy.
Right.
I don't want to major something that I don't like to major in. So for me, getting the most out of Berkeley is just letting Berkeley be Berkeley, because I know Berkeley is an amazing place, and I know it'll be able to find something in me that I'll enjoy. So I'm just going to let it ride away.
Right. And one big thing for sure in life is like a lot of people that are doing jobs that that they don't enjoy, but sometimes just do it for like the money and stuff like that. But like truly like finding your passion and pursuing
Exactly.
that.
It was like finding the sport across country. It just takes time and it takes the test,
Right. So like, what are some good how do you like to spend good quality time with your family, especially like time you have a lot right now being quarantined?
So I love planting and stuff like that. So we're growing stuff. We're trying to be a little more self-sufficient with consideration of what's going on. Just having a good time. Being able to every single day. It's kind of like Latin culture where we sit at the table and we just talk. We eat dinner together at the table every day, no matter what. We don't miss that. Because it's just my parents still work in the field. My dad's a physical therapist assistant, and my mom is a vice president for consulting at a company for nursing, which my dad works at. So they're both in that population of or that demographic that's could be heavily affected. So it's a big worry. They're out a lot. They're working because they're working in the field. They're the heroes in my mind. So it's still been kind of a crunch with time. But when they do get home, it's being able to, again, sit at the dinner table. We talk. We just English and Spanish. We just have a good time. We just talk about what happened in the day, and then just fun stuff. Think about it. Go through the quarantine. Have something to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially what your parents are doing. Yeah, thank you for their work and all the others, are just helping through this, hard time for sure. Wait, how old is your brother? Is your brother your only sibling?
Yeah, my brother is 21. He's turning 22 in October 22nd.
Okay.
So yeah, he's my older sibling. He always plays video games, hangs out.
Nice.
We're talking about athletics and stuff like that, and we think we know a lot, right?
Yeah.
My brother is a sports guru. Like,
So
the guy.
I used to be like that in 8th grade.
My goodness, first off, I gotta thank him for everything he's done throughout my career. He's just been so supportive. He's always been there for me, and he always thinks you're number one in the nation. Even though, obviously, after getting injured, it's a long ride up from recovery, but he's always there for me. And so I appreciate him so very much. And he also is there. He's there to handle the statistics, like with my dad with running. They're just, they're amazing. My mom is the mental support. She's always there for me as well. But yeah, my brother, he's 21, he's turning 22. He just amazing. He's gonna make big things in sports, I hope.
That's awesome. So is he like super into like crazy like knowledge about like stats in terms of running as well?
Dude, he's huge in stats. He doesn't look over running because he worked as a bat boy for the Storm, which is a single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres.
Awesome.
So he knows every single name, and he's good friends with kids like Josh Naylor, who is an all-star in the AAA, and he's going to go to he's in the pros in the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
So he has those connections. He knows all the averages. And in basketball, when I was 10, he was 14. He would. I'd ask him a player in basketball because we do, like I said, collection cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I just say a name of a random player, like nobody knows who he is, and he'd know what high school he went to,
Oh dang.
his scoring average,
Wow.
and what team he's at, and the college. And so he's just that type of guy. He's analytical. He loves statistics. And so, obviously not doing the math and stuff like that, but being able to see it and see the improvement, he's big on that. And he supports. It's funny because he supports me blindly with running, even though he knows statistics. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely for me, like in 8th grade, dude, I was like crazy about basketball, like just statistics and just like your brother, man. But not that like that extreme, that knowledge, but, like around there. Not on a lot of not about high school, but like in terms of just like who they are, like memorize so many basketball players and just like like their past and their stats, stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that stuff.
What did you say? Like he like do for work?
So he was working as a bat boy for the single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres, but now he's working to become a worker in filing for the nursing facility we work at. So he's also going to be one of those heroes that's in the field, and he's going to try to work with admissions and stuff like that. He does all the reports and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. So what is your favorite food?
Oh man, so what a lot of people don't know about me if they're not from Great Oak, I'm vegetarian, and so I was since 7th grade, which was since my boom, for running and stuff. And basically I get my proteins, and I'm able to. My dad is obviously he got a degree close to the sports nutritionist, as well as working as a PTA, so he knows a lot about intake, and he's vegetarian as well. So I 100% get everything I need, and fortunately, I find things I like, because right now vegetarian diet is growing. I mean, Beyond, the Beyond LLC company,
No.
right? That's on every single cushion in the Lakers stadium, right? You see that everywhere because it's growing, and so like Beyond is their sponsor, and it's everything. And for the vegetarian diet for me has been extended. And I'd say I used to love milanesa, which was a chicken breaded type thing from Argentina. But I still continue obviously to love pizza and stuff like that. I like food, but I don't like it more than my running. So I rarely eat something that's fun, because I'm there to eat just for nutrition.
Right.
But I do like eating burgers and stuff like that, things like that. I love that stuff.
Got it. I'm curious about like being vegan, and is your other family not vegan, right?
So I'm vegetarian. So that's like eat everything, but everything, even animal products except for the meat.
Right.
And my dad is vegan, so he's vegan, right? But my mom and my brother are meat eaters, which is a weird thing, because you're cooking for half of the family.
Right.
Actually, mom would be cooking for multiple quarters of the family, because you'd be cooking a small meal because she doesn't like eating too much for herself. Another quarter for my brother with meat. Vegetarian and vegan for my dad, so it's weird, but fortunately we're able to know what's healthy, and with the Latin cuisine as well, where we know that there's usually really healthy and organic food, even if it's not vegetarian. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I was wondering that like in terms of just like your parents' cooking, it's like crazy amount like the extra work, in terms of like eating with your family and stuff like that.
My mom and my dad cook. They're tremendous cooks. It's awesome.
Nice.
I love cooking now because of them. So it's awesome.
Nice. So was it the main reason, because like nutrition wise, or is it kind of just like the animals and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it was animals and stuff like that. I've always tried to leave, like I said, get a little less than what I like both get from it, you know.
Uh-huh.
So in that concept, I felt like, you know, it was for animals and stuff like that too, but it had also helped with my nutrition. I feel like it was a great you know, kind of pairing with trying to become an endurance runner. It's lean muscle, and I'm able to find that with the lean proteins that I get, and a lot of the nutrition that I focus on. So it's a good hand in hand type thing to have.
That's awesome. Have you ever tried the Impossible Burger?
Yeah. So I'm gluten free. So you know, you're gonna hear everything about me in my diet. It's a mess. But I'm gluten free, and there's wheat in Impossible Burger, so I can eat Impossible Burger. Because I had it once, and it's really good, man. It's hard to tell the difference. It's insane.
Yeah, I was doing some like research and just like watching like YouTube videos on just like how that's like that growing, you know, not using meat and just using like, you know, like vegetables and all this stuff. It's crazy like how they can like exactly like technology and just like what they're doing can make it exactly like you don't even know that you're just eating meat or not, you know. So
yeah. You see that with Beyonce, like a pea protein complex that grows exactly the same as the musculature of meat. And so they're able to perfect it in that way because they know, and it's kind of creepy because you're like, oh, it's not organic, but what they're using is truly organic things, and there are no genetically modified products in there. So you're like, this is very trustworthy, but it's very, very transitional, technological, and different. So it's cool. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to try the Impossible Burger. Like, there's one in LA, and definitely, you know, go to LA next time. I'm definitely gonna check it out for sure.
Even go to Carl's Jr. You get a Beyond Burger wrap, and you got yourself a Beyond Burger.
Oh, nice. There's Carl's Jr. like right next to my house. Got it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, you can tell it's good. It's healthy too. It's pure pea protein. So
nice. It's interesting, like Carl's Jr. like a fast food place and a healthy place, you know, serving that.
No, it's the trend, man. Like Impossible Burger, like you said, is a company that was bought out by Burger King. Burger King owns the rights to Impossible Burgers, and then Beyond Burger has a lot of you know, like deals with Taco Bell. No, Del Taco carries their stuff.
I heard about that.
Almost every market carries their stuff. Carl's carries their stuff. KFC will carry their stuff. There's just a ton of fast food corporations that are growing on it. So it's cool. It's a nice thing of vegetarian right now. 100%.
Nice. Who do you say is your inspiration in life?
Who?
Yeah.
Man, I got a lot of them. Obviously, everybody in my family. I mean, they're huge inspirations, and they all have different ways they inspire me. My brother's always happy, and so I take a lot from him, and I'm very fortunate that I have him in my life because he's always happy. My mother, she's just so great at what she does, and she's so consistent at it. It just helps me with my ambition. My dad's just really, really, really talented. Like I said, he was semi-pro in basketball when he was in Argentina, and that's when he was 16, 17. And then he went to, and he was playing. He didn't have the money, but he would play in the professional U20 affiliate of Argentina. But then he came here, and he was going to play in the professional USA national team. Didn't have the money, so it was just so much talent. And I feel like I've gotten fortunate to learn from him with sports and just everything. He's such a conscious guy. He knows everything. You know, he's just he has a lot of wisdom, and I'm fortunate to learn from him, you know. It's just having the care of them in my life. So my family is able to support me enough that I don't have to look anywhere else to find my motivation. They're just right at home. But if I were to look up to people, obviously, you know, the late Kobe Bryant, with not only what he did on the court, but what he left for charity and for focus and for help. You know, like what he was doing with the WNBA, everything that he had done was so charitable, and I look up to that. Prefontaine and running. So there's just a lot of people that fill my facets in life. Leadership from Souls and Noble. It's just a ton of things that I love to grab from people. I'm not a person that takes a single character and tries to copy everything. I like grabbing qualities from everybody. And so I'm just fortunate to have a lot of people around me that have good qualities. So
that's awesome, man. You know, it was great meeting your dad at NXN. That was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, if you could have food with 3 people living or dead, who would it be?
If I what?
If you could have food with 3 people living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, that's such a tough question.
Yes.
I have a lot of people I look up to, but there's just so many, you know.
I understand.
Yeah. But here's the thing: like the people I look up to, at this point they're so much higher of a level than I am, you know. And by that I mean maybe in sports they're way better than I will be at this moment until I get there hopefully. Or it's like knowledge-wise, like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love that guy, but he's so smart that I can't sit at the table and act like I'm smart enough to sit with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just there's a lot of people that I look up to that their qualities are so amazing that I feel like if I sit with them at a dinner table, I just wouldn't get it until I adopt it, and that takes a long time. So, I mean, I'm just fortunate to sit at a table with my family. You know, like those people I always. I'm fortunate to have. So I'd say that's kind of a boring response, but it's just so hard to kind of choose, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I like you, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So, what are some of your favorite artists and songs that you like to listen to?
You know, when I grew, you know, since I've been born, my dad has loved, he's always loved Prince.
Okay,
and
Prince.
Everything Prince, and I mean Prince is such an amazing artist. He played 80 plus instruments, you know. So there's a lot of flavor coming from, you know, the funk from Prince and stuff like that. But you know, like for example, my dad had a playlist of 3,000 songs, and that was when you had the Apple iPods that were tiny, right? So he fit that many songs. So there's so many things we listen to. My dad is an immigrant from Argentina, and my mom is as well. So you get Latin music. Like Lo Fabuloso Caddyshack, something like that in Argentina, Soda Stereo, stuff like that. You just hear a lot of great music. But you know, you go to 90s rap. My parents had been through all of that, so I was able to experience all of that music. But I love Tupac. I just like how lyrical he was, and on top of it, how good he spread his words. I mean, his words obviously are in rap form, but the messages he sends, they're all positive and they're all looking to the future. They all have something to leave in the world, and that's why everybody still listens to him. You know, Prince as well, Ice Cube. I mean, I just love Ice Cube because the same message he gives. I just love a lot of music, and so it's so hard to narrow down on one. But I like a lot of the genres of the early Prince, 79 to like 83, almost before Purple Rain, because that's when he was kind of growing. He was using every single instrument he had, and he just had so much unique music to be given to the world. So if I'd hone in on that era, I'd say. But other than that, man, there's so much good music there. I just can't grasp one, you know?
Got it.
I could find out all the names, but you know, it'd be like a day.
Yeah, how about a last question in terms of what's your favorite movie and TV shows, or what are some of your favorites?
Let's see. So when I was growing up, I don't know, everybody around me says I have no culture and I'm just an old soul. Because I didn't watch any TV shows everybody else watches. Like, you know, I watched a little bit of SpongeBob. Other than that, like you can name off every single one. I'd be like, what? I don't know. I have never seen an Avengers movie, and everybody's gonna be shaking their head when they hear that. But
same.
I don't. I love movies, but I don't. I just like I don't have time for them. I'm just always doing something else. But you know, my gosh, I do love Benchwarmers, the movie. That's a funny movie. I just think it's fun. I think it's a good time, and you know, I remember like watching it when I was young. It's just a fun movie. My dad is huge in comedy. It just keeps you smiling even if you're not having a good day. So we'd always watch comedy, and so a lot of the movies I like are comedy. And that Benchwarmers is a big one. I love Benchwarmers. I love that.
Nice. So you didn't grow up watching TV?
So we had that available to us, but I never really like when I was young. Obviously, you watch Dora, so I'd watch Dora. Like you know, Dora, symbol. But I don't know, man. I used to love. Okay, here's what I used to like. I used to like when I was really young. WWE, Power Rangers, you know all the stuff.
Oh, Power Rangers, let's go.
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
That's it. I would be playing soccer. I would have a good time. I don't know what I'd be doing. I just don't remember any shows that I used to watch. So yeah, it's weird.
Got it. Well, yo, Gabe, thank you so much for taking time for the interview,
Yeah.
man. I really appreciate it, dude. Such an amazing person, man. And yeah, hope you have a great day,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you for your time, man.
Pleasure,
You
man.
know, yeah. Hopefully this goes big for you, man. I'm hoping you got a lot of great reporting potential. You're awesome at what you do, man. I appreciate you covering not only myself but everybody at Great Oak and people beyond and running. Obviously, hopefully in the future in the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, and stuff like that. I know you got a lot to learn. You got a lot to go. So I appreciate you doing this, man.
For sure, man. Thank you so much, man. All right, take
Yeah,
care, Gabe.
of course.
Have a great day.
Hey, yeah, man. Have a good one. Bye.